Hello everyone, what's good, what's poppin', welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Caroline, that's me. Today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I easily customize the hairline on my wigs to give it a more hyper realistic natural type of look by using Nair. Yes, you heard me, hair removal Nair. This technique is super easy and I promise you the results are going to just elevate your wig install. So with that said, sit back, relax, let's get right into today's video. To make this be a lot easier on yourself, I suggest you do this on a wig that's already pre-plucked and pre-bleached because half the customization is already done, so you don't have to do too much work. So this wig was pre-plucked, pre-bleached, also came with pre-cut lace, but that's not necessary. Here is a look at how the hairline was looking right out of the box. You know, very regular, very standard, nothing special. You could put the wig on just like this, but I feel like whenever you do this extra step to customize the hair to make it look like it's coming out of your scalp, or to at least mimic your natural hairline shape, it just makes it look a lot more custom to you. And I feel like this technique also is great for those of you with a really low hairline, like your sideburns come down really low, but your forehead hair is all the way in the back. This is a perfect technique for you. So what I do is I put the wig on my head, and especially with a low hairline, you want to make sure you wear the wig all the way down, like bring it as low as possible as you can, so where all your edges on the side, everywhere is fully covered. It's okay if it's coming too further down in the middle portion, like your forehead area, because we're gonna pull all that hair out and customize it to our natural hairline. So once I have the hair pulled all as far as the wig can go and all my edges are covered all around, I start going in and carving out a little, like I call it a semi heart. It's like a heart shape. Some people call it an M because this is known as the M hair shaped hairline, but to me I really see like a heart with the little peak of the heart coming in the middle. Or you can also see it as semicircles on both sides coming in at the middle part. I try to make sure I'm not making the carving too wide. I usually use my eyebrows as a guide to how far I want it to go, so I don't part past the middle of my eyebrow on both sides. I try my best to make it as even as possible so it's not kind of like wonky, but it's okay because when I take the wig off later I can like perfect it, but just want to get a gist to see where it's going to hit on my forehead. You could do this on your mannequin head, but the thing is I feel like for you to make sure you have the exact custom measurement to where your hairline is, it's best to do it on your head. And for the sides, like I told you guys, I did pull the wig all the way down where it covers like my sideburns as well. I always have to go in and pull out just a little bit of excess hair that goes a little bit too far down because I am basically resizing this to fit to where my hair, my real hair stops and starts. So I just pull out a little bit on the sides right there. Ew, excuse me, coughing like a fool. Close your mouth, girl. But I just pull out like I imagine I'm drawing like an upside down L essentially for the side. So it's an M in the middle and then an upside down L on the sides. Honestly, when I think about it, these are the same sections that I would pull out if I was to do my baby hairs, when I would do like my little swoops in the middle and my swoops on the side. These are the same pieces of hair that I would pull out for my baby hairs, which is so interesting to me. But if you like kind of know what I'm talking about, pull out those sections that you'd pull out to do your baby hairs, and you want to pull them out and separate them from the rest of the hair. Make sure you get the parts nice and clean because you don't want this to get mistaken with the rest of the hair that you're going to keep. So what I did was I went ahead and got like a little hair clips and clipped back the hair. I'm really glad that this wig already came pre-cut, lace, pre-plucked, pre-bleached, because before you do this step, you still have to make sure you've plucked the lace and bleached the hair as well. So it's a lot better to do this with like a pre-plucked, pre-bleached wig because you're like save yourself time. But here's what the wig is looking like on my mannequin head. Here sometimes I go in if I feel like the parts weren't clean or perfect enough. I use like my comb and I like clean it up and make it more perfect. I can see it from a different angle. And then I use a hot comb a lot too to help just like push back the hair that's staying out of the way, because I really don't want to mistakenly get Nair on hair that's going to like be part of the wig. I push front the hair that's going and push back the hair that's staying to make like an obvious line of separation. Now that I've done all the prep, I have every hair that I want to pull out separated from the hair that I want to keep. I'm going to go in with some Nair, and the Nair I'm using is just regular standard Nair. You can use just any hair removal cream that you use for your body. You just want something that's going to help you just easily loosen up those knots and pull the hair out. To help me have good control of where I'm applying the Nair, I like to use a little wooden popsicle stick so I can really like apply it where it needs to be applied. And I make sure I'm applying enough pressure for it to like seep through the other hairs underneath the top, because I want all of the hairs to come out completely. Now the reason why I use Nair versus actually just like cutting out these excess hairs or plucking it out, I feel like you could pluck it out, one, that'll take too much time. Two, I could cut it out, but the problem is that it's going to leave little knots behind, and I don't want any knots behind. I want a very clean look, and when you cut it out, I promise you it leaves knots. It doesn't look as clean if you cut it out. Another option is just to yank them out from the roots, which I actually do a lot on my videos. If you watch them, I'm always yanking them out like a barbarian, but that too can cause you to mistakenly rip a hole in your lace or just rip your wig entirely. So this is the most safe, easiest way to do it. I let this sit on the hair for honestly not too long. It's been about like 5 minutes since I even started one. I just do like a little pull test. It should pull out really easily. If you have any resistance, that means you haven't let it set long enough. So like 7 minutes, like the instruction says max. And like as you're pulling the hair, it'll come out right, like really easy and clean. Like honestly, very smooth. It's kind of satisfying watching it come out. So, but I also like to make sure I'm applying tension on the back of the wig head to make sure like I'm not like mistakenly yanking on the hair and yanking the lace apart, especially with the lace being pre-cut. Like look how easy and smooth it just comes out like butter. Once you pulled out all the hairs, I did it on all sides. I'm going to just put the hair under the sink real quick and just wash out that Nair. And I also like wash any Nair around it to make sure the hair is not reacting and not getting any hair pulling out later. Now that I've pulled out the excess hair and created my new hairline, you're probably like, oh, okay, great. Put on the wig, we're done, let's get going. No, especially if your wig was like slightly pre-plucked and pre-bleached or not even pre-plucked at all. What you're gonna have to do is one, cut off all the excess lace in the shape of your new hairline. Don't leave that excess lace when you're laying it. It's just gonna look ridiculous and no one's gonna tell that you created a new hairline. And two, what I have to do now is pluck behind that new hairline that I've created for it to look very like realistic. So what I do is I always like I don't pluck right directly in the front of the hairline. I always part out that front hair at first, and then not plucking right on that parted space, I pluck behind the parted space and start like creating little slight striations, I guess is the word to explain it, and just create little gaps and windows by doing the pluck skip method. Like you pluck a line, you skip the next one, pluck a line, skip the next one, still making sure that I'm pulling the hairs out from the root, because again, for a clean look, you always want to make sure you don't leave any knots behind. And I try to like pluck as further back into the hairline, because I realize what gives that super realistic plucked look with your hair. It's not about how much you plucked in the front, it's more about how far back you plucked, if that makes sense. I have more detailed tutorials on plucking if you want like a very like slowed down in-depth plucking tutorial. And also you could also do this step before installing the wig. I actually recommend doing this, like plucking it on the mannequin after you've washed everything, because that way it's just like less tension on the lace and you can see exactly what you need to do. But I was kind of in a rush, so I went ahead and did this step after installation. So I'm over here using my finger, both hands, to help hold down the lace and to pull the hair back while I'm plucking. After I pluck behind the hairline, of course, I always comb the hair back to the front and do little like finishing touches, like little cleanups, and create little gaps in the front hairline, so all that plucking I did in the back will be visible. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side and not talk as much so visually you can understand what I'm saying. last step that really helps clean up the whole look is I go in with mousse, any type of hair mousse, and I use that to kind of like do the edges. I'm not doing baby hairs, I call these edges. I just kind of push back and slick and kind of curve where the curve needs to be added to kind of give more of a cleaned up hairline look. Doing this step just makes everything you did more visible, if that makes sense. Like you can see the plucking, you can see the intentional shape of the hairline. It just kind of I don't know. It's a very important step that you shouldn't skip if you really want to get that cleaned look on your install. And then once you're done, I just go ahead and use an elastic band to hold down to help set the lace and the hairline that I just swooped in place, because the mousse, it needs to be set and it does move easily. So just gently put the elastic band on to let everything set. After I let everything set and finish installing my wig, this is what the hairline was looking like. And come on, look at this. It's giving, that's my hair. It's giving fresh relaxer. I also really like this versus having to do baby hairs now. I feel like this has replaced doing baby hairs because the way I do the edges, it just gives more with doing less. And you don't have to do a widow's peak or do the M-shaped hairline. You could literally just customize it to your natural hairline, your hairline needs, but just doing these little tweaks just makes the wig look more custom and made for you, which also at the end will give them more realistic look. But yeah, that's all I have to say. That's all of my rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was helpful, useful, or entertaining at the least. But I'll see you guys in another one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And peace out, Girl Scouts. Goodbye.